Hi, and welcome back. This week, I want to talk about money and happiness. I'm laughing because it's another of these thoughts that I'm always trying to unpack and have conversations with family and sometimes complete strangers who know I'm a financial planner and an advisor. But today's episode is really a thought experiment. It's an idea that came from Morgan Housel, who I get a whole lot of inspiration from on these different topics that I try to make that are important concepts or topics to talk about that most people just don't. And money and happiness kind of go hand in hand. And the question is, does having money or having more money lead to being happy or happier? And I think that money up to a certain point can make you happy, but it doesn't take away all of your problems. Let me give you an example. People often ask me how I stay calm during market turbulence, or how I stay calm when I'm going through tax season or some other financial crisis or perceived to be financial crisis. And I always give this example. When I'm in my office here in Commerce Township, Michigan, I feel a sense of peace. My environment really matters to me. I'm very lucky. I have this beautiful office, and it's a calming environment. But when I walk out those two doors, the rush of the world hits me. And really what hits me first are these growing individuals called triplets plus one. When I'm in my office, I feel a sense of control. Like I know what I'm doing. I know what I want to do to help people in managing their finances, helping them with their personal situations, being a part of their family and being able to support them. But then when I walk out my own two doors, I face those same struggles that the families I'm trying to help are struggling with. So with that said, Teresa and I, my wife, as I often tell people, we struggle with the same things that everybody struggles with. How to manage our chaotic schedules, how to manage our own financial constraints. Because that's the one thing about having a large family is you need to pick and choose a lot more stringent, be more stringent, I should say, on picking and choosing what you do. And having alignment between your purpose and objectives and what you want to do versus what you actually can afford. And there's one thing that I think there's a really strong connection between the economy, if you will, bigger, broader approach, and your own personal finances. It's about trade-offs. It's about opportunity cost. And I think that's where, coming back to what I want to talk about today, is, can money make you happy? And there's a lot of studies that show money makes you happy up until a certain salary level. And then from there, it diminishes. But I have 5 points I really want to make on this topic. And I'll see if you agree or what your thoughts are on this. The first is, money provides freedom, not fulfillment. I think another way to phrase this is, money buys you options. And that's what you really want in life, is options. Wealth can offer choices and reduce certain stresses, but it inherently provides purpose and satisfaction. Number 2, as I just mentioned, happiness plateaus with income. Beyond a certain point, when your income increases, it's kind of like a law of diminishing returns on happiness. You begin to emphasize the importance of non-material aspects of your life versus the material aspects. Number 3, and I think this goes to my example with my own kids, is wealth can't solve emotional challenges. So when you're struggling with your spouse or significant other, when you're struggling with having conversations or developing deeper, better relationships with your kids, your coworkers, your friends. Those are all situations where having $1 million in the bank isn't going to do you any good. Number 4, comparison undermines contentment. I think said a different way, this is the classic keeping up with the Joneses. I think Teddy Roosevelt is the one that's attributed this quote, but comparison is I'm going to mess this quote up already, is the thief of joy, something like that. But the point is when you're comparing yourself to somebody else, friends, colleagues, family members, next door neighbors, even, let's be honest, anybody on social media, which is a human highlight reel, but no one really shows you behind the scenes. That's what I'm really getting at here. And we've talked about this before. I mentioned it time and time again, is you need to be able to run your own race. You have no idea what's going on in the lives of those other people unless they're actually telling you, which most people aren't. And number 5, my last point is true wealth is peace of mind. Achieving financial peace often comes from this alignment of your spending with your values and your purpose and objectives. As my good friend Brian Portnoy talks about this term that he calls funded contentment. And it's one of finding out what really matters to you and this idea of defining how much is enough. And my closing point to all of this is that this takes work. It takes time. It takes having success. It takes having failures. But if you think this is just going to come to you overnight, you'll be sadly mistaken, because it doesn't. It can take years, let alone months. But to start thinking about this and having conversations with yourself, with your spouse, with your partner, with your significant other, with your kids, with the people that are important in your life, that's where it starts. That's all for this week. We'll see you next time.